Hello and welcome back for another episode of the Accessible Technology Podcast. My name is Phoebes and I have been paralysed from the neck down for nearly 22 years, which means I actually can't breathe without the help of a ventilator and tracheostomy tube or move anything other than my head. But he also has a big interest in technology despite all of this. And that is why I set this podcast up as a way to advise disabled people on what technology is accessible for them, as well as advising technology companies on how they can make technology more accessible for the disabled community, and also to give advice about what technology isn't the most accessible and which ones you should probably avoid. This podcast is available to listen to on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, and Spotify. So if you like what you're hearing, please consider following it and giving it a share if you think there's anyone else who would like it. In this episode, you're going to be hearing my thoughts on the PDP One Handed Joystick, which is a one-handed joystick for disabled gamers and which can be used with the Xbox Adaptive Controller, and is also able to be used in both left-handed and right-handed mode. Those who are fans of my videos on the YouTube channel will realise that the main bit of audio for this review is actually from the video that I uploaded to the YouTube channel after buying it on the 9th of August 2019, and it was at that point available on Microsoft's website. However, after looking it up again before putting this script together, it does seem to be out of stock everywhere, with no other ones being available anywhere. But you should be able to get second-hand editions from charity shops that cater towards disabled gamers. And also, touching on the video again that the main bit of audio comes from, I have, however, added in a couple of custom sound effects to make this sound like a more immersive podcast experience, so hope you all like that. But anyhow, let's now get into the review. The PDP One Handed Joystick is a joystick developed by Performance Design Products, also known as PDP, and can be used with the Xbox Adaptive Controller. It has buttons at the side which are programmed to work as A, B and XY controls, but which, like the Adaptive Controller, can be remapped. The box that the PDP One-Handed Joystick comes in has a green top with a picture of the one-handed joystick in front and some more information in the corner. On the side, it tells you a bit more about it, and like other products, there's the same information in other languages on the back. A picture of the joystick itself is included on another side as well. Inside, you'll see the joystick itself hidden in bubble wrap with the lead and USB already attached. So you also get warranty, but nothing else. So what do I think about the PDP One-Handed Joystick overall? The PDP One Handed Joystick is better designed than other joysticks I've tried, and although I don't use the buttons, I find them easy enough to press. The joystick is easy to move, But where I find it falls short is when it moves every time I try to move it. Therefore, I would love if companies were able to start developing cases for these type of joysticks so they are accessible for people who can't use their hands. For having a joystick and buttons that I can use, but not having accessibility up to the amount that I would like, I will give the PDP One Handed Joystick 9 stars. So what are your thoughts about the PDP One Handed Joystick? Have you had experience with buying it before and trying it out? Kind of depending on what level your disability is. Did you have a good or bad experience using it? Personally, while I did buy it and to try, I found it difficult to use the buttons, but I have heard other disabled people saying how they find it really accessible. So obviously it's just one of those things that is more accessible to certain disabilities than it is to others. But as always, if you would like to pass some of your thoughts on to me, you can include them in a review or wherever you're listening to this podcast on, as well as via the contact pages over on my Phoebesville Tech Review site, which is linked below, and on my other website, phoebelau.com, which is also linked below. If you're interested in watching the videos on accessible technologies that I've done, you can find more over on my PL Tech Reviews YouTube channel. And if you would like to see a couple of my accessible tours and reviews, as well as my film, TV, theatre reviews and political videos, you can see them by searching for Phoebesville Journalism on YouTube and subscribing to it. You can also find my other podcast, the Phoebesville Podcast, by searching for it on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, and Spotify. However, if commenting on a website or a video isn't something you would be up to, you can also support the podcast by going over to the Phoebesville Buy Me a Coffee page, where you will have the option to give me a one-time donation or to check out other bits of exclusive content that won't be part of the actual podcast, as well as checking out various other things that I plan to upload in a store version at some point in the future. Or of course you can support me by going over to any of my socials, which are at Phoebesville on Twitter or X, and the real Phoebesville over on Instagram. But anyway, that's all for now. So the next episode that comes out will be an opinion episode documenting my thoughts on what my opinions were on the PS4, with a similar episode for that coming out after, which documents my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch. And that will then be followed by my first audio tutorial, which will be on how to access the accessibility options that come with the iPhone X, although that tutorial can also apply to newer models of the iPhone as well, and not just the older models. But thanks for listening to the complete podcast episode that you've just listened to the whole way through. If you've made it to the end, and please follow it if you like what I'm doing. I plan to update this podcast at least twice a week until the 12th of August 2023, when I might have to change things round. But honestly, it could get more regular before then, so I can fit in other tech stories from throughout the year. So please just stick with me here. Talk to you in the next one. Bye!